Hi, my name's Tony Gerard. I'm a resident here of Johnson County, Illinois. Although I grew up in Massac County, I've lived in Johnson County for about the last 20 years. And I've taught at Shawnee Community College for about the last 25. I'd like to talk with you a little bit about fracking. This is the sort of thing that normally I would do as a letter to the editor of a paper, but the two local papers in Johnson County, the Gordonville Gazette and Vienna Times, both owned by the same individuals, have decided they will no longer accept any articles critical of fracking or even any paid advertisement that's critical of fracking. So this is pretty much my only way to get this out to other people. I'm against fracking for a whole number of different reasons. The first of which being I respect private property rights. I feel that as a landowner, what happens on my property is my business. But the fracking industry doesn't respect private property rights. If I choose not to sell my mineral rights, they can drill horizontally underneath my property and just steal what they want. Or if enough of my surrounding neighbors sell their mineral rights through the process of forced pooling, they can force me to give up my mineral rights. Under certain circumstances, they can even build a road across my property against my will. Another reason that I'm against fracking has to do with what it does to our roads and our infrastructure. I would recommend, don't ever believe anything I say. Check it out for yourself. But see what happened in Texas to some of their county roads and their infrastructure and how much more they spent trying to repair roads than they ever made off the process of fracking. A third reason has to do with earthquakes. If you've heard it said that fracking doesn't cause earthquakes, I would recommend you check it out for yourself. There's lots of credible scientific papers that say that fracking does cause earthquakes, and the injection wells getting rid of fracking fluids cause earthquakes. My real concern is that although these earthquakes have been small, usually a 5 or less, I don't believe that fracking has ever been done on a major fault system. And here in southern Illinois, we live right on the junction of the New Madrid fault system and the Wabash fault system, where those two systems come together. And then lastly, and most importantly, if you're concerned about the health of your kids and the health of the environment, and having a healthy environment for your family, I would suggest you look up the chemicals that are involved in fracking. Now, the pro-fracking folks will tell you that Illinois is going to have the toughest fracking standards of any state in the union. And people will laugh at this, but my response to that is, what has the state of Illinois done in the last 15 years to earn your trust? I mean, would you trust them with your personal finances? The main thing I wanted to talk with you about, though, has to do with the new spin that the pro-fracking movement has put on their political agenda. Here's one of their papers, Environmental Extremists, I guess that's me, want Johnson County to vote on a community bill of rights. Well, let me read you what's actually going to be on the ballot. Shall the people's right to local self-government be asserted by Johnson County to ban corporate fracking as a violation of their rights to health, safety, and a clean environment? Did you catch the part in there about the Community Bill of Rights? No? It's because it's not in there. This vote is about fracking, pure and simple. But this is a non-binding referendum. All this vote does is send a clear message to politicians, bureaucrats, from county level all the way up to state, what the people of Johnson County want or don't want. You might say, why can't Johnson County just ban fracking? Well, the state gives certain jurisdiction, pets, liquor, pornography, jurisdiction over those things to the counties if they so choose. Anything that they don't specifically grant a county is up to the state. So if the state decides something that the people of the county think is not good for their county, well, tough luck. Now that's the law, but I don't think it's right. I think the people of Johnson County should have a voice in what happens in Johnson County. Sure, it's a state law. There have been lots of other unjust state laws. At one time, women couldn't vote. At one time, you could be denied the right to vote because of your race. Because people started raising the stink, those laws got changed. We're doing the exact same thing here. The pro-fracking interest, I recently heard their paid lawyer say that if we do this, Johnson County is trying to assert its independence from the state of Illinois. I mean, that's just silly. Of course we're not. We're just sticking up for what we think our rights ought to be, to have a voice in what goes on in Johnson County. Now, this whole Bill of Rights thing, that's a legal move that's been used in other places. Right now, it's being contested in court in Moore County, New Mexico. There's lots of information out there about that. I would suggest you look it up yourself instead of listening to what somebody else, me or anybody, has to say about it. But it's a legal move that's been used in other places. If a county Bill of Rights were adopted, the county commissioners would be the ones to write it. They would have the final say in it. So voting yes or no on this non-binding referendum is not going to generate a community Bill of Rights. All it's going to do is send a clear message what the people of Johnson County want. So, if you think the people of Johnson County ought to have a voice in what happens in Johnson County, I would encourage you to vote yes. If you think the state of Illinois ought to be able to dictate to Johnson County what happens in Johnson County, and you don't think the people of Johnson County have any right to say what goes on in Johnson County, go ahead and vote no. In either case, I would encourage you to research for yourself and educate yourself about fracking. There's lots of information out there. So anyway, I sure appreciate your time in watching this. Thank you very much.